Welcome everyone. What I'm going to teach you in this video is going to help you set your sewing machine for it to sew any kind of fabric. So make sure you stick with me to the end of it. Everything about sewing machine is timing, the timing between the needle and the carrier. So now this is another form of setting a timing between your needle and your carrier. This one here is a formula that I created on my own. It's a secret, so I'm going to be showing you how you can apply it on your machine. With these settings now between the needle and the carrier, it will make your sewing machine sew any kind of fabric. Now if you look here, you see the needle going up and you see the carrier is a bit far from the needle. You see, as I'm shifting it now, it's a bit far from the needle. Now that's what I'll be teaching you here in this video. In order for this carrier to see the thread in the eye of this needle, it has to get close enough, like when you are sewing a stretchy material. As this carrier now is a bit far from reaching the needle, when you are sewing a stretchy material, it doesn't see it well enough to pick it up so it can stitch. So when you pull this carrier now closer to the eye of the needle, closer to the needle, it will be able to see the needle, the thread in the needle, so you can pick it up whenever you are sewing any kind of fabric, be it stretchy or thick fabric. It's going to be able to pick it up all at once. So I'm going to show you how you can do the setting in order to bring the needle closer to the carrier. You understand? Now this is how it's done. Now we are going to be chiseling this needle now, the needle rod. Going to chisel it a bit closer to the carrier. Let me say I'll hit it so that it will go inward. So you lose out your needle, bring it out. But mind you, you have to check if your needle is already closer to your carrier, because if your needle is already closer to your carrier and you shift it again, as I'm going to show you, it's going to cause breaking of needle. It's going to cause the needle to be hitting on top of the carrier instead. So make sure that you see that gap. Just shake it the way you saw me did earlier. So you shake it and see if there is enough space. Now you get something like this. This is I'll be using it to chisel it. You get a plier. Just place it at the tip of the needle rod right there. So you just chisel it a bit, not too hard, because that rod is a bit light, so it could bend too much. So you just chisel it a little bit. Then you pull back your needle and check the adjustment. Now let's take a look at what we got. Okay, as you can see the error there, the needle has gone too much and it's now hitting on top of the carrier. Now that's what I was trying to warn you about. So I think I've hit it pretty much. So you'll be chiseling it out a little from this other angle of it. So you put it at the back here, just at the tip of the needle rod. So you'll be shifting it outer. It has gone too much inside. So just place it at the tip of it and just hit it a little. Let's see it again. Let's see what we have now. Okay, I think it's okay right now, as you can see. You see the way the needle and the carrier are close. Now this is close enough for it to see the thread at any given point in time. So with this duration now, this is a proper setting. It's not too far, it's not too close, so the needle will not be hitting on top of the carrier. So this is the setting. This is the first setting you need to do in order to get your sewing machine to sew all kinds of fabric. Now I'm going to take the needle rod down a bit because it's too up. It's passing at the eye of the carrier. The carrier is passing at the eye of the needle, so just lose it from here then you bring it down a bit. So make sure once you lose that thing and you adjust it, you tighten it up immediately. Don't forget to tighten it, because if you don't, the setting will shift. So as you can see, the way the carrier is passing above the needle eye, that's the right format you should take. So now the next setting here is the aug. This aug here now needs to go forward, so that the distance for the needle, the carrier to pick the needle, will be a little bit further. So this aug now need to go up. As I'm setting it, you understand better what I mean. So just turn your machine over. You see this nut over here. I call this short hammer. So we are going to be doing the second adjustment from here. Now as you can see, you see this nut here. There are other machines that doesn't have this nut. There are some machines that their own is pin. Instead of having nut here, there is a pin here in which that holds this thing. And if yours have that pin, you won't be able to do this adjustment. So let me just show you what I mean. Now this is another sewing machine. As you can see here now, this is a pin. With this pin here, you can't lose anything to adjust what I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to show you. I'll make another video on how you can convert this pin now to nut. You remove this pin, then you'll be using this smaller nut here. You remove this pin and use nuts instead on it, but I won't be able to teach it here in this video. So back to what I was saying. You slack this nut, slack it a bit, yeah, not too much, just slack it a bit. You use your hand and hold the head of the machine so that it won't turn. Now you come over here to the aug. Now use your hand to move this aug forward. As you can see, this is where it is. You just push it a little bit with your hand. Yes, you can see it's moving forward. Now that's the setting I want. You will not push it too forward, you push it a little bit. Now there are some of you that yours is too strong for you to use your hand to adjust, so you can use a screwdriver like this. Just place it here. After you place it here, you just be pushing it up and it will be moving. You see, you push the screwdriver up and it will move. That's easier. You want to adjust it back, you put it here, you adjust it backward. So that's how you do the adjustment. Now back to what I was saying. So you just have to move the aug a little bit forward. If you move it too much, it's going to cause scattering of thread. You have to have that in mind. So just look at the mark in which I stopped. You put your carrier and see. Now as you can see, the carrier now has gone backward and is now giving the needle space, but the space is still not enough, so I'll be moving it forward again. Now just a little bit. Now let's see. I think the space is too much now. With this, it's going to cause gathering of thread, so I'll just take it back a little. Now let's see again. Now if you notice, you see that the eye of the needle have just gone up because of these settings we are doing. So first, let's go and tighten up this knot first, because if we leave it like that, the setting might just adjust by itself. So make sure you tighten it. Whatever you are doing, when anything you lose, remember to go back and lock it up. So after we have locked it up, so I'm going to do the needle timing. So the needle has gone up, so I'm going to take it down a bit, just a little down. Then you tighten it up again, tighten it back up. Now let's see the timing here. As you can see, it's cooperating perfectly. So this is just the secret setting for your sewing machine to sew all kinds of fabric. If you apply it accordingly that I've just taught you in this video, you get a good result. Remember, if you move this thing too forward, it's going to cause packing of thread, and if you adjust that needle too closer to the carrier too much, it's going to cause breaking of thread. So have that in mind when you're doing the adjustment. So I'll couple back my machine and we are going to test the result thereof. Now I'll be starting off with a normal fabric. This one is not that stretchy, so I'm going to sew it on this one first and see its performance. As you can see, it's sewing very neat, no skipping of any kind. Now this is a stretchy material too, so let's see how good it's going to sew on this material. Like before, this machine over here can't sew that good on a stretchy material, but as you see, take a look at the stitches now, you won't see any skipping of any kind. As you can see, very neat and perfect. Thank you all for watching. If this video is helpful, like and subscribe.